your God power. Get everything you ever wanted and live the life of your dreams. The Master's Course. Copyright 2010 by Richard Lee McKim Jr. All rights reserved. Let the quest for knowing begin. Okay, here's another example. In his book, Experiments in Distant Influence, the Soviet psychologist Leonid Vaslev cites a German study conducted in the 1950s that produced similar findings. In that study, the hypnotized subject not only tasted what the hypnotist tasted, but blinked when a light was flashed in the hypnotist's eyes, sneezed when the hypnotist took a whiff of ammonia, heard the ticking of a watch held to the hypnotist's ear, and experienced pain when the hypnotist pricked himself with a needle, all done in a manner that safeguarded against her obtaining the information through normal sensory cues. Okay, here we go. Normal reality again. Same thing. Now, I say normal reality, and once again, I always want to caution you and let you know that normal reality just means that it's the meanings that we've generally accepted. Now, why do we all experience pretty much the same reality? Well, because first of all, we all started out with a pretty equal set of meanings when we were born. Then we were raised in a pretty similar way. We all went through the school system, which was meant to really educate us, and as it did, we all have very similar meanings. Very similar. So as a result, we're all experiencing very similar realities. Not sharing a reality, but experiencing individual realities that happen to be similar. So when I say normal reality, I mean the kind of reality where somebody is born on Earth as a physical human and has gone through the normal growing process in a human family and gone to probably school and learned about the laws of physics and the laws of nature and the way things are supposed to be. And from there, they're going to have a certain understanding of the way things work, and things are going to work in the way that they have a certain understanding. Otherwise, they're not going to be aware of it. That's just how it works. So normal reality, standard meanings, you have the physical meanings of the person, then you have the physical meaning of the sense sensations are your own, then you have the physical meaning that no personal sense sensations, in other words, the person wasn't eating anything, seeing anything, hearing anything, tasting anything, they were not experiencing anything personally. So the normal result, nothing felt or sensed, naturally. However, God power exercised by hypnotism. Now, we have the physical meaning of the persons, same as before. Then we have the thought meaning, which was implanted by the hypnotist. Sense sensations are hypnotist's sense sensations. Whatever the hypnotist experiences, he's going to experience. Do you realize how amazing that is? Do you realize how amazing it is that as a physical human being person made of matter, that you can sit there and by a skillful hypnotist implanting the idea in your mind that you can experience what somebody else is experiencing, that you actually experience somebody else's experiences? Do you realize how that violates the laws of physics and the laws of nature? That you're tasting what somebody else is tasting, seeing what they're seeing, hearing what they're hearing, feeling what they're feeling? But you see, because of realities, because people have certain ideas of what reality is, they don't get exposed to this information. This is probably the first time you have been exposed to this information. As amazing as this is, it is clear evidence and proof of altered reality where laws of physics don't apply, laws of nature don't apply. You hear about it. I mean, sometimes you see it on a reality show, sometimes, one of those little news shows, or maybe it's in a newspaper or a magazine or something, and that's it. It goes by the wayside. People don't realize that they just experienced evidence of the amazing thing that the laws of physics don't apply. The laws of nature aren't real. The laws of physics aren't real. And if the laws of physics aren't real, then gravity and all of these other things are not real. Of course, we know that. By the time you've gotten to this point in this book, you know that. Is it bad? No, it's not bad. It just means that you can bend everything you want. You can flex it and create whatever kind of amazing reality you want. Wonderful. So here you have the thought meaning that this person is going to sense everything that the hypnotist does, going to experience whatever the hypnotist does. Then you have the physical meaning that person doesn't have any personal sensations going on. But sure enough, the physical result, the subject felt and sensed everything the hypnotist did. Now that just literally, that is amazing. That is as profound as that guy Tom seeing through his daughter. That shows you that different realities are real. And the reality can be changed. The guy with the hot lead in his mouth, the woman with her fingers in the flame, the guy who was delivering the speech standing in a roaring fire, didn't have his clothes, didn't have his hair burned, the people with the bullets flattening against their skin. Do you realize that everything you thought about reality is wrong? Or it's right, depending on your reality. Actually, everything you thought about reality is correct. Because everything you thought about reality was your reality. And that was reality. See, you can't really talk about other realities, frankly. And the reason why is because no matter what you say about reality in general, it's always going to be your reality. Because that's the only thing you can talk about. Because whatever someone else is doing, they're doing in your reality. So if nobody can do it, then in your reality it can't be done. That doesn't mean it's not being done. That just means that it's not reality, not for you. Isn't that amazing? Do you realize how profound this is? Here it says the ability has been elicited and activated in subject's own life experience. So once again, the tuning fork of belief, the green one, being struck, eliciting one of those tuning forks. He's got the ability to taste what he tastes and hear what he hears and see what he sees and feel what he feels. Simple. Just a simple hypnotist with a few suggestions can change a reality that quick. Do you see what kind of potential you've got for changing your reality? For altering it? It's wide open. You got the God power. You got the God power to do anything. Like the story told about the invisible daughter, witnessed by Michael Talbot, these two stories serve as powerful examples and proof that hypnosis can actually change one's reality in ways that are so dramatic that they are even discernible to witnesses on the outside of their reality. In both of these examples, we have to examine the exact language of the hypnotist's instructions because it is the exact language and instructions that determine the meaning, and the meaning is the only thing that counts. First, the hypnotist in both examples instructed the subject that they would experience what the hypnotist experienced, whether it was a taste or a smell or a sound or a feeling. This is a very important point. If the hypnotist had said, "You will know what I taste or what I smell," etc., then the subject would have gained the knowledge by telepathy. However, because he said that they would taste it, that meant that they would not only know what it was, but they would also experience the taste as well. But more careful analysis indicates that they would taste it first, and from that, they would figure out what it was. Like the invisible daughter example, this calculation of meanings is as simple as a math equation. First, you have the meaning of what the hypnotist tasted. Then you add the meaning of what the subject tasted. Normally, the meaning was nothing, but the formula was subject taste equals hypnotist taste. So like the sugar pill, the original meaning was overridden by the new assigned meaning, and the new assigned meaning was equal to and the same as the meaning of what the hypnotist had tasted. So if the meaning of what the hypnotist tasted was salt, then automatically, according to the new meaning, the subject tasted salt. It is important to note that the meaning from the hypnotist was not overridden. He was actually creating meaning the old-fashioned way by actually doing the physical act of putting salt in his mouth. Since all actions and activity is only really happening in the energy realm, then all this happens in energy. The hypnotist is represented as tasting salt as a result of his physical meaning. and the subject tastes salt as a result of the asserted meaning. While this was never done to my knowledge, I wouldn't be surprised if you could actually find traces of salt in the subject's mouth at the moment she tasted it. It is completely within the realm of possibility. If the taste of salt could be represented in her mouth, the salt itself could be represented in her mouth as well.
To continue, go to How to Use Your God Power, chapter number 12, segment number 17. Let your quest for knowing continue.